I said I don't want any goddamn zombie takeout, you reindeer fucking snow whore. Hello and welcome to episode 554 of Zombie Takeout,
Zombie Takeout.
the movie and cult movie show. I'm John.
And hello, I'm Scotto.
And before we get to this week's movie, we of course have our best of the year lists. This is our last episode of the year, of course, because next week is, well, as we record on Wednesday, Christmas Eve, so we're not obviously going to do that.
Limping towards the end of
Yeah.
2025.
It's been a rough couple of weeks for me, so yeah. I have a couple of opportunities to get a little aggressive vocally this week, and it feels good.
Good. Let it out.
But I'm going to start with an honorable mention for the TV show because we don't really do a list for that because we
shit.
do it too infrequently.
The one thing I didn't have ready.
You might piggyback with this one. I don't think anything else was really worth it, particularly for you, but I do have to give an honorable mention to the Amazing Digital Circus.
That was this year.
Yeah.
That was the
That was
that
this
was the
year.
other challenge of me composing lists for them. Like, wait, we did that in 2024, obviously.
Nope. That was early
Okay,
this year.
agreed then.
Yeah.
Definitely. The Digital Circus.
Consistently hitting it out of the park every week.
I've yet to see the latest episode though, unfortunately. So I'll correct that as soon as I can.
You have until like mid-March.
All right. Yeah, I'll do it during the break.
At number 10, I have Max Headroom, 20 Minutes into the Future. Just a nice, nostalgic movie, fun little sci-fi story.
That almost made it to mine, but
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, my number 10 is The Monkey. One of those movies I was not expecting much
Mhm.
out of, and wow.
At number 9, a little bit of a spoiler, A Christmas Horror Story.
That is my number 8.
What's your number 9?
My number 9 is The Dwarven Knot.
Ah, that's my number 8. Number 7, I have The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
My number 7 is Cade, The Tortured Crossing.
At 6, I have The Monkey. These lists are remarkably similar.
Yeah, they probably are gonna be. Number 6, I've got the Minecraft movie. I can't believe there's a 2025 movie on the 2025 list.
Yeah. At number 5, I have Ashens in the Polybius Heist.
Oh, that's my 5 as well.
Nice. 4, I have Cade, The Tortured Crossing.
4, I've got the Royal Tenenbaums.
Nice. 3, I have the Minecraft movie.
My 3 is Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Number 2, I have But I'm a Cheerleader.
That is my number 2 as well.
And number 1 should be obvious for me. If you heard the episode, I said it was the easiest 5 I've ever given. Won't You Be My Neighbor?
My number 1 is The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
I had a feeling that would be there.
It's always going to be Gilliam.
Aside from that one, which I knew was going to be your number 1, and I knew was not going to go anywhere near my list, and my 10, your 1 and my 10 were the only differences. And your order.
Yeah.
I think everything else we agreed on just in a slightly different order. That's wild.
Yeah, the Ministry of whatever
Mhm.
there wasn't getting near my
Oh, that one. That was the other
list.
one. Yeah, because you didn't really like that one. I think you gave it
Yeah,
a 3. Um,
yeah, yeah. No zeros this year.
yeah.
And I'm trying to remember. Not many really low
Mm.
ratings from either of us, honestly.
My lowest was a 2, which I think might have been Man of Mantra. Or whatever the Gilliam movie.
Man Who Killed Don
Man
Quixote.
King Don Quixote. Might have been the number 2. I know my lowest was a 2. And that's the only one I remember really not liking. Anyway, on to this week's movie, which is from 2015, A Christmas Horror Story. Of course, that brings us to the impromptu plot summary, sponsored by Krampus. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Because if you do, Krampus will beat your ass.
And also brought to you by Bailey Downs Mall, where the Christmas spirit lives in all of us for a limited time only. All right, so we have this nice little quaint town of Bailey Downs. Um, I saw in the trivia that it's actually connected to Orphan Black and
Mm.
like another movie
Oh,
they did called Ginger Snap.
interesting. Because one of the actresses in the movie was in Orphan Black.
Yeah, so it's all connected. It's all within the same
Huh.
universe. Um, and it's the holiday season, and there's this DJ who's just kind of this blowhard who's just kind of rambling about the whole, Christmas spirit and all that.
My only
And
disappointment is he didn't die.
yeah, I mean, obviously, you get Shatner,
Hmm.
and you're just going to put him
Right.
behind the
Yeah.
microphone because anything else probably would have cost a lot more money.
He probably improved half of it.
Yeah, he probably did. So, but the town, of course, has a lot of things going on with it, shall we say?
Hmm.
The high school has a murder. For some reason, they converted an old convent that had a checkered past in itself they converted that into a high school with the basement still intact from the days of the convent. And well, there was a murder there a year before, a double murder that I don't think they ever actually solved, of course, because, well, I think there was some sort of demonic possession going on. And these yeah, kids that are just like these student journalists, they're kind of on the case. They break into well, they actually don't break it. They have a friend of theirs steal some keys to get in through the school unchecked, and so they go down in to investigate. I don't know. It might be easier for me just to tell each
Yeah,
anthology
probably.
story separately since they're kind of
Uh-huh.
you swirl around with these stories. So yes, they go down into the basement. They get locked in, although even though they had the keys, they for some reason the keys won't work.
Mhm.
But I think they reveal why they don't work. Now that I think about it, it's because it was the girl that had the keys, and she had been possessed all along.
Well, she was a Krampus, but I kind of took that, and that's a spoiler. This is going to be massive spoilers, but
Yeah,
you will still want to see this movie. I kind of took that as a family curse thing, not more so than
family
a possession,
curse.
because she had the other relative who was a Krampus.
Oh, I mean, were they really Krampuses or were they just possessed?
I don't. It was left open. I took it as a family curse thing.
I see. I thought each story had a different thing just about, except for the the final,
Right.
battle.
Um, and they were all interconnected, aside from the Santa story until the twist ending, where we find
They
that
had
that's also interconnected.
they had the one connection was the girl that stole the keys
Mhm.
went off with her
Right.
family to confront a Krampus.
Right.
But I don't know if a Krampus was actually involved in this because the other story
Mhm.
has a changeling.
Yeah. Well, they could have been changelings too. True.
Oh, you know what? The Krampus is a changeling.
Possibly.
But why would the Krampus have gone after the policeman, you know,
Mhm.
someone trying to solve a crime and
Well, that
stuff?
was the story that didn't involve Krampus.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
yeah.
the changeling
Yeah.
story.
That's the changeling story, and um, well, the Santa story ultimately involves Krampus, but it's mostly zombie elves. Um, and this kids breaking into the school was all ghosts, no Krampuses there.
Right, right. So she had been possessed by either one of these spirits,
Mhm.
or I don't know if there was a demon involved
Right.
there.
Mhm.
Um, and the thing is, she had been possessed all along.
Huh.
She was luring the boys down in there with her.
A girl and two guys break into a
Yeah,
school to investigate a series of murders that had happened years ago. And yeah, we find out at the end she was possessed by a ghost.
because that is why they couldn't get out. They
Mhm.
could have gotten out. Those
Right,
keys would have worked,
right,
but she was the only one that
yeah,
tried to unlock the door.
right.
Um, and yeah, so it does not end well for them.
Mm,
And we go on to our other story, which is, of course, the police officer who is investigating the murder
mm,
the year before. He pretty much checks out of the force, for a while, and he's trying to get his head back together, and decides to take his family out to a to get a Christmas tree, even though they trespassed on private property. Uh, as they're dragging the tree out, their little son just kind of disappears, and he doesn't, you can't hear him. He doesn't
Mhm.
talk. They get him, and after that, he rarely says a word,
And
and something's wrong.
and they find him in a tree with a giant hole in it, which is never a
Yeah,
good sign in a movie like this.
right. So when they bring him home, he's behaving very unusually. He's kind of a kid in an Earl suit. Um, linger longer.
Uh,
Um, the So yes, it's revealed that he is a changeling. It's not their actual son, and the owner of the land is the one who warned her in the first place that he's a changeling, and gives instructions for her to bring him back. She does, and notice I'm not talking about the husband anymore.
mm-hmm.
Um, uh, she brings him back only to find that the owner of the land has no idea where her son actually is, and well, the accidents will happen,
Right.
as Elvis Costello would say, and
And it's the only story with a marginally happy ending.
um. Yeah, I assumed they were going to come back with it's still not the kid.
Mhm. No, apparently it is the kid, and it had kind of a happy ending. Actually, I'm gonna say completely happy ending because the father was kind of a problem.
Well, I mean, he had issues he needed to work on because of the ghosts.
Not fair.
Um, and yeah, he gets
Mhm.
the the changeling, of
Uh,
course, gets the better of him. Which the changeling could have done so much more
mhm.
in that because there was literally a gun left on the
Yeah.
table. And I just assumed when he left it and came back that that gun was not going to be there when he got
Uh,
back. It was like, does a changeling not know what a gun is?
I was just really happy to find out it was a changeling after one scene.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, major creepy, like
Oh yeah,
probably some of the creepiest shit that
yeah. I thought this was gonna be like a Siffy level comedy horror. This
yeah.
movie goes fucking hard.
Right. This had so much more than it had any business having,
Yeah.
honestly. That's all you can say. So let's see. The other story is, of course, the family out in the middle of nowhere. The father kind of takes them for a surprise Christmas, Eve trip to his mom's house, I believe, or his aunt's.
Some
And
elderly female relative.
it's really just about him pitching his Ponzi scheme.
Mhm.
But they accidentally, well,
Well, the
they get,
son accidentally, or no, not so accidentally, breaks a Krampus statue.
and as they're leaving on the road, they almost hit a Krampus. He running in the road,
Mhm.
he drives off, and they're kind of stuck out there in the woods, where of course they have to do battle with the Krampus. And of course, our last
Well,
story.
just a quick addition to that last one. The kid in that vignette went on to play a character in the first season of Wednesday who was really fucking annoying.
Oh yeah.
So it was kind of nice to see the Krampus get him.
Yeah, you don't really get to see him buy it though. He kind of just gets
No, he
dragged
just pulled
off.
away, and yeah, he doesn't come back. The only
And I
survivor
think
is
one
the
of the
daughter.
worst parts of that was they pretty much were just content to leave him.
Mm,
Except for the mom. The
yeah.
mom was like, "We can't leave him," but
Mm.
everyone else is just like, yeah, we gotta go."
Well, that was kind of the nice thing about that scene is that they were all assholes.
They were
So
all
you
assholes to
didn't
the end.
mind them dying.
Although, I mean, I don't know if one necessarily did die or just became one herself.
Well, yeah. As we discussed, it's she turns into a Krampus at the end of her vignette. How it happens is left up in the air.
Yeah.
The mechanics.
And
And
the final story, of
uh,
course, the one that really ties the whole room together,
my favorite.
is we have Santa Claus, but unfortunately there are these zombie elves. Well, the elves have some sort of illness and become zombies, and there's the usual zombie thing going on. But it turns out uh, his mortal enemy, Krampus,
Mm-hmm.
is behind the whole fucking thing. And they have a nice Highlander
Mm-hmm.
kind of battle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, it could be the inspired by South
Yeah.
Park's Jesus versus Santa, which is what started it all.
Kind of wish it could have gone on longer, but the twist was worth it.
Yeah, we won't spoil the twist because
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean
fair, fair.
that one will keep
Yeah.
because that's and man, the fact that it wasn't even sprung, that it was like really it was there all along.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put the hints, they did the work, and hilarity ensues.
Suffice it to say, Norman did not social. This Norman did not socialize with zest. Um,
No.
that is a Rolling Dervishes reference. We'll get to that review next year. Loved that external shot of Santa's castle at the beginning.
Yeah, you know what? The beginning, I'm kind of like, oh boy, what are we in for? The stupid,
Mm-hmm.
music.
Right.
The shot at the beginning is like kind of like, okay, what are they doing here?
And then George Buza as Santa. George Buza did the voice of Beast in the classic X Men cartoon and the more recent X Men '97. I've seen him in a handful of other things, including a trucker in the first X Men live action movie. Love his work. So it was great to see him as Santa. I wish he had done more action stuff because that fight scene, for his age, he did incredibly well.
Yeah, and I think what really turned me,
Mm-hmm.
what won me over from very early on, the first jump scare
Yeah. Well,
from the video.
first, well, that we get to that first segment with Shatner. I already want him dead. But then we cut to the story of the kids breaking into the school, and we're seeing this police video of these killings that had happened. Some really nice gore, a great jump scare. There's a few
Yeah,
great jump scares in this movie.
it is not often I get hit by a jump scare, but
Mm-hmm.
that one got me.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay. So we're serious here.
And I like how they set up both the cop stealing the tree and the kids as possible victims.
Man, the suspense with the kid.
I didn't realize all four vignettes were going to be interwoven at first. I thought it was going to be a one then the other kind of a deal. And I was waiting to see who the first victim was, and it was a great slow burn.
You have, the fact that they were on the crime, so
Mm-hmm.
it's, you know, the connection there. I almost felt like maybe there were too many stories going on and maybe we could have lived without the asshole family.
That would be the weakest, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because then we get the kid who broke the Krampus figurine. We kind of got the inciting incidents all at once,
right.
and then Shiny the elf cutting off his finger. I fucking love that line that I referenced in my intro.
I, I mean, the suspense though with the kid, because the kid, of course, I mean, they just creepy as fuck. I
Uh-huh.
mean, they just have him emotionless.
That kid did like one more thing after this, hasn't acted since, and this was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I hope he does more because he was a great actor.
It's to the director,
Oh, yeah. I
for
mean,
especially when working with the kid to
right.
what you want to get out of him
Mm-hmm.
and not having him emote, just staring.
Great kid actors are so rare. I always
Yeah.
feel the need to shout them out. It took the cop and his wife long enough to notice the big hole in the tree when they were looking for him. I, I see it behind them. They just walk past it. Like that's fucking ominous.
Yeah, their story's a bit weak too, with
Oh,
the fact of just how
but it's worth it for the
unobservant they
kid's
are.
performance.
Yeah. the suspense of like what's gonna happen to the kid, what, and then turns into what is the kid gonna do? You know?
Yeah, because when they first find him, it's nice and subtle, but I could tell. I thought he was possessed.
Yeah.
Kid does a beautiful job playing creepy. Um, then they go to the asshole family. Having Shatner's character be the grandfather of the kids was a really nice touch, just to tie it all together.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's
It's subtle. He's looking at a Christmas card from his family, and it says, "Merry Christmas, Grandpa" or something, and it's a picture of that family. Love the zombie elves. I'm kind of over zombie movies. We've talked about this. We're both over zombie movies,
well, yeah,
but
it's done to death,
zombie elves and
or I should
Santa.
say, done to undeath.
Oh yeah, zombie elves and Santa having to kill them was such a beautiful twist on it.
Zombie elves, though, that is definitely a twist.
Mm-hmm. I assumed that the guy who split off from the group at the school was gonna die. I didn't expect him to die how he did.
Right. Usually, it's the opposite
Mm-hmm.
in horror movies.
Right.
If you know, the unchaste get
Well, we're
killed.
spoiling everything. I can, except for the very very ending. The girl in that scene was possessed by a ghost of I'll roll that back. Before it was a school, it was a convent, and whenever one of the nuns got pregnant, they performed a back alley abortion, so to speak, a home abortion. It resulted in the death of this one girl, and she became a ghost, and she was possessing people. The goal was to get one of the possessed women. She was possessing women. The goal was to get her pregnant and to birth her son. Um, and if any guy turned her down, he got murdered. So the first guy was in a relationship with the Caprice, the daughter from the asshole family, turned her
Right.
down, and he got killed.
Did you notice what the principal's name
No,
was?
didn't strike me.
Well, I mean, because of course I had to watch like the credits at the
Uh,
end, and Herod.
oh God. There was an awkward scene where the cop, after the incident with the son, stabbing the hand and all, he was sitting there awkwardly in the dark, listening to the radio with not watching TV. It was
What
just kind of a weird way to crowbar Shatner in, instead of like a normal person would be sitting there watching TV, not listening to the radio on Christmas Eve. Um, there's a scene that was way too far for me until they established the changeling. Um,
Oh.
so the mother sends the changeling, the kid who is misbehaving after he stabs his father in the
Yes,
hand.
they're very
Uh,
chill about him stabbing the
yeah,
father.
because the kid wasn't listening. He gets sent to his room. Apparently, he listens when she sends him to his room. I think he just wanted to leave. Um, but mother's in bed, and you see something under the covers. It's obviously the kid. Um, let's just say he goes downtown to full climax and then slips out the door, and we know it's him.
It was enough to wake her up at
Yeah,
least. I don't
and
know
we
if she
see
went
him slip
completion.
out the door. So, uh, and it was incredibly disturbing until they established that's not actually the kid. Like, still disturbing, but acceptably disturbing when it's a monster. Um,
Well, the other thing is the high school kids really do look like high school kids.
yeah, yeah.
Like when they're starting to
The
when,
girl
when,
in that vignette looked incredibly familiar to me. I couldn't quite place her until I looked at her name, Zoe de Grand Maison, Orphan Black. She was the girl who was trying to get away from the cult.
oh, okay. I've not seen Orphan Black
Oh,
yet,
okay, yeah.
actually.
I
Maybe it's
rec-
a TV show to do.
she looked vaguely familiar. I knew I'd seen her before, but that name, because it's so unusual, stuck in my brain. I immediately knew it was from Orphan Black. Um, Loved the Harbinger calling the cop's wife, the guy who owned the where they snuck the area they snuck into. He was effectively the Harbinger,
I should
uh,
have thought of that. Harbinger Online too.
and he just got completely ignored until the husband gets offed. And then she's like, okay, fine, I'll call the guy.
And it should have been her first clue that
Uh-huh.
he wasn't trustworthy
Yeah,
because he somehow knew that
right,
her husband had been killed.
right, right.
When she calls back, you believe me now, huh?
Didn't expect Molly, the girl in the school, to get possessed. I thought it was going to be something else that was killing people. I didn't realize it was going to be something possessing a person who walks into that space. Um,
Right. And we what drew her there in the first place and her
yeah,
reporting and all that.
right. Yeah, it could have been the ghost all along. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Um, Loved the revelation that Duncan, the kid from the asshole family who broke the Krampus statue, was killing their family pets. Like, they assumed he was a sweet innocent kid. He was killing their family pets. So,
Well, yeah, that was the thing. The mother was oblivious to
mhm,
so much, you know? The fact that the father had been pretending to have a business for
right.
as long as he had been
Yeah.
and really was just running a Ponzi scheme
Uh-huh.
the whole time, without her figuring it out. And you think it's going to be this redemption. They're confessing their
Uh-huh.
sins, so it's going to be all right. No, Krampus doesn't care.
I mean, the kid was already pulled away at that point. The
Yeah.
father had gotten hit with something in the stomach, was bleeding out. Um, and so it was just down to the mother and daughter, and the mother sacrificed herself so the daughter could get away. In that scene, something I was not prepared for was Krampus's tongue. It reached under the door of the closet they were hiding in. Um, the daughter says, something's on my leg. They turn the lights on. It's a tongue. Something else I was not prepared for was the changeling playing with the cop's severed hand. Like I said, this movie does not pull any punches. It goes hard. Loved the cop's wife beating down the changeling with the aluminum bat, though.
And I don't know how you would pretend not to wanting to take it away or whatever,
Yeah.
the whole thing, it can sense your feelings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you would be able to hide
Mm-hmm.
what you wanted to do to the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And Santa Claus Zombie Killer might be my favorite thing I've ever seen in a movie. He just goes on this. I mean, it's a classic killing spree from a zombie movie, but it's Santa and elves, and it's just like I said, a beautiful twist on the trope. It was a really nice touch when the cop's wife shot the harbinger, that she fell to the ground. Presumably, she wasn't familiar with guns,
No.
and too many movies and TV have people shooting guns who don't regularly shoot and aren't affected by recoil.
And, out of all the killings and stuff, how many of them are just accidental?
Yeah,
Just,
yeah,
you know, the bullet
right.
travels a lot
Yeah.
further than people think it
Uh-huh.
does.
I mean, I've never shot a gun, and I'm reasonably sure that if I picked up one now and tried, I'd probably break my wrist because I
Uh,
don't know how.
I mean, yeah. Once you fired it though, and you feel the
Well, yeah,
recoil,
once you
you
know what
kind of get
you're ready for,
accustomed to
but
it.
that first time is gonna catch you off guard. Um,
I think for me, it would depend on what kind is. I mean, because I fired them, it's
mm,
been decades.
uh,
Um, and of course, in this case, it was just the one time it went off, so she had no chance of knowing,
right,
what it was going to
yeah,
do.
and she had it nicely braced, so it didn't hurt her wrist or anything. It just took her off her
Yeah,
feet.
yeah,
Um, the three stories did wrap up pretty quickly. That
yeah.
surprised me. But it left lots of time for Santa versus Krampus.
And in fact, I think the fact that some of them, wrapping up kind of made you think that they were going to come back to it, but the fact that they didn't in itself is a twist. The
Uh-huh.
fact that there was no twist
Right.
was the twist.
Uh-huh. Until, and the fact that the three other stories were connected to Shatner, or were
Yeah,
all interconnected. You know, somebody knew somebody from each story. They were all
yeah,
involved. They all were in the same universe. And then there was Santa off in his own universe, killing zombie elves and Krampus. Should have been a tip off.
yeah. I had no idea how they were going to bring the story of Santa
Yeah.
into all of that, and I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised, that they wound up doing
Yeah.
it.
Booza does such a brilliant job with the Krampus fight and the aftermath.
Hmm.
Nice that they showed us some clips of what had happened.
Yeah, to break it down. I
Yeah.
mean, once you figured out what was really happening, though, it
Mhm.
was kind of like an
Yeah.
okay,
And damn.
yeah.
Um, and the best part is they set it up for the entire fucking movie, and you don't see it coming.
I wouldn't have minded a post credit scene at the end, though, just
Uh,
to like call back to, you know, maybe the kid wasn't a change, it was a changeling after all, kind of thing.
Sequels and remakes? Because I have an idea.
Oh yeah.
I want a sequel with Caprice Krampus going after Molly for killing her boyfriend.
Oh,
Molly is saved by the ghost whose child she's carrying, but then Shatner turns into a Krampus. I'm thinking it's a family thing to avenge his granddaughter and takes out the ghost.
so yeah, Krampus versus Ghost
Yeah,
would be the big.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that
On brains.
on a brains.
It's a five. I just it's such a beautiful, dark, twisted horror film in Christmas wrapping. I just love how hard this movie goes with what could be just a very silly horror comedy idea.
Yeah, I probably should have ranked this a little higher in my
Mm.
uh, year-end thing because it's really a 4.5 for me. It's I mean, if it wasn't for that one story just being a little, it
Mm.
it tried to do too much in a way,
Uh,
And I think if it had just kind of narrowed it down to the three stories
uh.
before Santa, I think it would have been even better.
For me, the Santa story and the Changeling were so strong that as long
Yes.
as the other two didn't fuck it up, it was a five. You know,
I mean, the high
as long as
school,
the other two were cromulent, it was a five.
so the high school,
Yeah,
the
the high school and the asshole family. As long as those two stories didn't fuck it up, it
I
was
was
staying a five.
fine with the high school because I mean that was just that is kind of what the real story was
Uh,
supposed to be about, it felt like,
mhm. Yeah.
So I'll put this as five on my list.
And what have we learned?
Well, you got your yin, you got your
Mhm.
yang, yeah, all that stuff.
And I learned you don't fuck with Santa.
Or Krampus. Were you familiar with the legend of Krampus before this, or?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hence my sponsor. I've even seen the horror movie Krampus, which was kind of eh.
Yeah.
That's why we haven't reviewed it yet. But the actual story, yes, it's very grim in terms of grim fairy tales. If you've ever read the original unsanitized grim fairy tales, it fits right in.
The German Christkindl market here in Chicago has a big celebration
Oh, nice.
of Krampus. There's like a Krampus dumped,
Hmm.
one night of the month where they convert what's usually Santa's
Hmm.
beer hall into like the Krampus.
Hmm. And if you really look at Santa, Krampus and Santa, it is an interesting kind of story of how society gets kinder.
Yeah,
With Krampus, if you misbehave, he will take you away and beat you. If you're good, he'll
right.
give you gifts. With Santa, you get gifts either way. It's just if you're bad, you won't like the gift you get.
Well, I mean, he gives you a fuck you if
Yeah,
you know,
right. But you're still getting something. You're not getting hurt.
a lump of coal usually,
Yeah,
which I imagine back in the day, when you actually use that as a fuel for your fire,
yeah. It's
it's
actually
probably
fairly
not even a
useful.
bad thing.
Right. Very
Yes.
good point. Did we settle on a movie for the first of the episode?
We are going to obviously do some sort of tribute to
Yeah.
Rob Reiner,
So
and I think
that's it for Christmas Horror Story. Until next year, when we'll be either reviewing Stand By Me or Spinal Tap 2, we have yet to decide, or something else Rob Reiner directed as a tribute to the late great Rob Reiner, if we think of something else. Until then, of course, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life,
there
there
you
you
are.
are.